One,
two,
three.
four.
Monster movie.
Fun time, go! Monster movie.
Fun time, go. Monster.
Movie.
Fun time.
Go!
Monster movie. Fun time, go.
With Precious D and Honeybee.
Fun time, go!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors, welcome to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. 31 Days of Horror. Mars Needs Movies. That's right, this year we are looking at movies about alien invasions, incursions, infiltrations, and visitations. And my guest today is Mike from the Voices from the Mausoleum podcast and also Rise from the Dead podcast. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much for having me here.
Well, thanks for being here. The movie we're talking about today is The Faculty. So I sent you a list of potential movies, and this is the one you chose. Tell us, why did you choose this one?
So, yeah, I saw your list of movies, which, by the way, it had such a great catalog of science fiction horror movies. But the minute I saw The Faculty, and the fact that nobody else has chosen it, I was like, it's a no-brainer for me. I am a huge advocate for 90s horror movies, and The Faculty is one of my favorite horror films. It's a comfort watch. I've probably only seen like three movies more times than I've seen The Faculty.
All right. Well, then you're the guy to talk to. Folks, if you haven't seen it, it's on Paramount Plus and on Pluto, which Pluto is free. So go watch it there. You'll have to put it with some commercials, but just pretend you're living back in the 90s when you had to deal with commercials on TV. Let's get some stats here. It's from 1998, directed by Robert Rodriguez, written by Kevin Williamson from a story by David Wechter and Bruce Kimmel. And you can tell that it is written by Kevin Williamson. This is very much trying to be Scream for invasion movies. The cast, the budget, $15 million. Box office, $63.2 million. So not too bad. Very respectable income there. It's 104 minutes in color and in English. Our cast is Jordana Brewster as Delilah Prophet, Clea Duvall as Stockley Mitchell, Laura Harris as Mary Beth Hutchinson, Elijah Wood as Casey Connor, Sean Hatosi as Stan Rosato, Josh Hartnett, very 90s name there, as Zeke Tyler. That's also a 90s name. Salma Hayek as Nurse Harper, Famke Jensen as Miss Burke, Piper Laurie as Mrs. Olson, Chris McDonald as Casey's dad. Love some Chris McDonald. Bebe Neuwirth, totally making those bangs work as Principal Drake. Robert Patrick, excuse me. Robert Patrick as Coach Willis, Usher Raymond as Gabe, John Stewart as Mr. Furlong, a rare film appearance from Mr. Stewart there, Daniel Von Bargen as Mr. Tate, Summer Phoenix as Fuck You Girl, and John Abrahams as Fuck You Boy. So there we go. So, Mike, just jump in here. What is it you like about The Faculty so much?
So first of all, super 90s. I'm a huge 90s fan of TV shows, movies, music, etc. And if I had to pick one horror movie that truly uh, did the 90s justice in style, music, etc., it's The Faculty. Like, I think it did 90s
Wow.
better than Scream did. Like you
Oh
said, look
man,
at the cast.
them's fighting words, man. That's a bold position.
Well,
But
because
go
look at,
ahead.
I mean, you have Clea Duvall, who was in so many
Yep.
different things in the 90s. Jordana Brewster started getting big. Um, Josh Hartnett, the 90s was like his focal point. And then, like you said, you have Jon Stewart, you have Selma Hayek, you have people like Sean Hatosi. Uh, I am a huge fan of all these people. And then for me, the start of the movie starts off with The Offspring, The Kids Aren't All Right, like a banger of a 90s hit. Uh, I just, everything about this movie, from the terrible haircuts, from the questionable clothing, the dialogue, this is as 90s as it gets.
You better not be talking about BB's haircut there, because I was loving it.
Yeah, like they were all just so, so good. And then, like, this is just a nostalgia ride for the ages. But the other thing I love is it is super sci-fi. And like you said, you can definitely tell Kevin Williamson's hands were all over this in the script because it really was sci-fi Scream.
Yeah,
And from the very last shot is almost the same in every Scream movie as it was in The Faculty. Uh, Robert Rodriguez, just coming off of what, From Dusk Till Dawn, like a few years earlier. He did Spy Kids, like he was super 90s himself.
yep.
So everything about this movie is just like, it's a warm hug to me of my childhood. And I just cannot get enough of this movie. I love sci-fi. I love aliens. I think they did a great job. I think this movie's so well done that you can kind of look past when it starts to get very 90s effects, and you're like, all right, this isn't the best use of technology. Uh, but the story itself is just so good and it's so fun, so entertaining. It starts from the opening credits and it does not stop until the end credits. I'm a huge fan of this movie.
Yeah, speaking of the screamness of it all, apparently these two guys, Wechter and Kimmel, were shopping the script around. They couldn't sell it until Scream became a big hit. And then I guess everybody was looking for the next Scream. But then they brought Williamson in to punch up the dialogue, and now he's listed as, I guess he did enough that now he's listed as the screenplay, and they're just the story. Let's see, I have a few notes here. I already mentioned BB's bangs and that it's Scream for Body Snatchers. Oh yeah, we should say this is an incursion and an infiltration movie. It's not a full-blown global invasion, but we do have some puppet mastering going on here. We've got aliens taking over humans' bodies and puppeting them around. But there still seems to be some of the original personality left behind, because they say things like, I always wanted to do that, and are still fully aware of who everybody is and what they're supposed to be doing. I also wrote, she's a bad reporter. In the beginning, Delilah is talking with Casey about the newspaper and stuff, and I believe it's Casey that has an idea for a story, and she's like, yeah, I don't want to hear it, whatever. And I'm like, no, people that work in the news, even if it's a school newspaper, they're always looking for a story. So if somebody comes to you and says, I've got an idea for a story, you at least listen to it. You don't just blow it off like that. She's a bad reporter, because you never know what the big story is going to be.
I
Of course,
think too, though, I think it was just to amplify like how much of a meathead her boyfriend is, that she can't take him seriously enough to even consider that he might have something worthwhile saying.
Yes, it wasn't Casey. Casey's the photographer. It was her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Stan?
Stan. Yeah.
Stan's her boyfriend? Yeah, poor guy. He just wants to better himself. He wants to do something that's not easy for him right away. So good for him. I have that the cheerleader is a bitch. So, pretty standard there. And I made a note of Elijah's quote, I don't think a person should run unless he's being chased, which I kind of agree with. That's sort of my attitude. However, you're more likely to get away if you've practiced running at some point before then, if you're in good shape to run. Otherwise, you may not get away.
Yeah, I agree with his statement too. I do
Yeah,
believe that the only reason why you should be running is if you're being chased, but that also might be why I have the health issues I have. So
there you go.
everyone, make sure you're running.
Yeah, yeah. Practice running away. And similar to Scream, we have one student here who knows what's going on because they're familiar with the genre of film that she is in. She knows Body Snatchers and she knows Puppet Masters. And now I don't think in either of those stories, though, there was a queen situation, sort of a head vampire situation where if we just cut off the head, all the drones will be free. I think she was doing some heavy duty speculating there. That could have gone badly.
Yeah, Stokely, I love that character. Again, I think especially in the 90s, they were very famous for super troping individual characters into you had your jock, you had your geek, and then you had the either the horror nerd or the gothic girl or the outcast. There was always some version of that in the film that just always had the right knowledge at the right time. And I think Stokely was just the perfect blend of all of those characters for this movie. I love that she kind of slightly questioned it, but she jumped straight into it, even though maybe she didn't fully believe them. But she's just like, well, this if this is the case, this is the situation. And I love that
Yeah.
about her.
I do like her character a lot. There was a couple things I had issues with. The fake lesbian. Why not just have her be a lesbian? Why be a fake lesbian? I don't know. And once she starts dating the jock, she just quits being a goth. And
Yeah, I do hate that part so much.
that made her a poser, really. I mean, lots of people that have a goth phase and they kind of grow out of it, but not necessarily 6 months later. I thought it might have been more interesting if he was dressed a little more goth at the end. If maybe she'd had a bigger influence on him. He didn't have to be fully gothed out, but he could have had a black and gray striped shirt on or something, you know?
Yeah.
He didn't have to be full eyeliner, but come on.
Or they could have just made her like instead of being full goth, they could have just had her in some like standardish clothes. Like they fully went into like, here is a super pastelly purple cardigan,
Yeah.
very anti everything you were doing and wearing in the entire movie.
Yeah.
And yeah, just make you look not like yourself at all because you got the guy you wanted.
She's just a hot topic goth. She's a poser. If you're a goth, where were you when we were sacking Rome? That's what I want to know. So there I also made note of the do drugs to prove you're not a narc scene, but in this case to prove you're not an alien. It really reminded me of the scene in The Thing where they're trying to figure out who may or may not be possessed or taken over or replaced. I guess in The Thing they were actually fully replaced.
Yeah.
But a very similar scene. We all got to go around and do the thing to show that we're human. So, my last note is what? Question mark, exclamation point. So I don't know what that was in reference to. So, yeah, folks, if you haven't been keeping up, it's set in high school. First, the faculty gets taken over by these aliens. And one of the kids, Elijah Wood, actually finds one of the parasites, I guess you'd call them. And they study it in the science class and think we might win a prize or something for this. We're all going to be famous. But the teachers are slowly being taken over. And I think they start getting to the students and the football team, and there's a group of our group of heroes, our semi-diverse group of students. They're not at all ethnically diverse, but they are socially diverse, and they figure out what's going on and they're trying to stop it, and of course eventually they do, and at some point they figure out that because these creatures are very hydrophiliacs, I guess, because caffeine is a diuretic. If they put enough, one of the kids is selling drugs, but it's really just crushed up caffeine pills and a couple other things. And if they dose these aliens with caffeine, it makes them explode. So There you go. And so the drug scene is them each taking it to see if they explode or not. But there's kind of a cheat. One of them, well, two of them actually. One of them turns out as the queen. Another one has been infected. But the queen had a way of faking sniffing the drug that they revealed to us at the end. So I thought that was a little bit of a cheat. Yeah, we have this new kid who turns out to actually be an alien. What did she tell us about where she came from? Or did she at all?
All I remember is her just saying like she moved in from out of town. I don't know if she gave like anything super specific.
I mean, at the end when she's revealing that she's actually
Oh,
the alien.
uh, funniest thing is I just watched it this week for this too. Uh,
Me too.
I don't remember her actual like she was stating something. I think it just I think more so what I'm remembering is like she stated why she was choosing like there.
Hmm.
And again, I think it always boils down to the same thing is because early in the movie you
Oh, here.
find out this is a Ohio town. It's a football town. They make it seem like it's very small town living in the Midwest. So I'm assuming and because she went after characters like Stokely and stuff because people aren't gonna miss them in situations
Hmm.
like that.
Okay, Wikipedia tells me that she explains she is taking over Earth because her planet is dying. I think maybe the water had dried up.
More than likely. Because yeah,
So,
they really love that water.
yeah, they were drinking a lot of it. Um, so, yeah, I think she's just somehow managed to come here. It's not clear if she came here on a ship or if she's one of those aliens that can just kind of fling themselves into space and hope for the best. Yeah, what was her name? Mary Beth.
Yeah, Mary Beth.
She had a longer name, though. I don't think it mentions her. Mary Beth Hutchinson, but she had a middle name she kept telling us, too. She kept telling everybody her full name. But I guess she's been here long enough to impersonate a human pretty well, and a particular type of human. She doesn't come off as a weirdo at all, as a alien wearing a human suit. She's figured out how things work.
Yeah, I think she did a
So
really good
they
job. Like you said, infiltrating. She came in. I remember when I first watched it, I was completely bamboozled. I don't think I know who I thought it was supposed to be, but I didn't think it was her. And then watching it as an adult, I'm like, I mean, yeah, it's kind of obvious it was her.
yeah. I do find some of the plot a little weird in that she's kind of stringing these kids along more than she needs to. She's kind of playing with her food a little bit.
Yeah.
And the other one, when it turns out that the reporter had been infected, didn't seem to be doing much to infect the others. She was just kind of Delilah. She was just kind of hanging out. So
Yeah, you would
uh,
think.
while the
Or
teachers were
maybe
doing
I
all the
guess
real
because she's
work.
the I was just gonna say, I was like, maybe because it's similar like the whole like bee situation. So she's the queen bee. All the worker bees do all the work, and she just gets to,
Yeah,
I guess, bask in the royals, I guess.
I'm just gonna I'm just gonna chill out with my new friends and amuse myself until I have to assimilate them, while my drones go do the real work. Yeah, I think she was just entertaining herself. Uh,
Yeah, I think so
so
too.
yeah.
I think you're right. I think it was a whole play with my food situation, or maybe she was looking
Hmm.
for people because she seemed very invested in Stokely. So I'm wondering if she was like
Hmm.
trying to find the right people for her to infect. Because, like you said, they do
Okay.
keep a little bit of their personality. So maybe she
Yeah.
was trying to figure like a hierarchy of new aliens, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, she's trying hard to be Stokely's friend. Stokely wasn't having it, but she was trying hard. So I thought the effects were actually pretty good rewatching it now. I think this is only the second time I've seen this one. I watch Scream every year and my
Yeah,
marathon gets longer and longer over time.
they
But
keep
I haven't
adding new
had
ones.
I don't necessarily do it during spooky season, so because I have this going on during spooky season but maybe I'll have time to fit it in before the month's over. So, anything else you want to mention before we wrap it up here?
Yeah, there was just a few funny parts for me because you kind of mentioned, well, one, the scene that was similar to the thing of like them trying to figure out who it is, and then you kind of mentioned
Yeah.
like slightly the lack of diversity um, in the movie too. and it just made me think of the line in that specific scene, because the queen, who doesn't want to take the drugs because then she'll be outed, lets them know, like, I can't, I'm allergic. And then Jordana Brewster's character Delilah's like, yeah, and I'm Portuguese, and I just thought that was so funny, because I'm like, they did try to throw it out there a little bit of like, there's someone else here.
Technically, I'm a minority, but not so as you'd notice.
Yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, no, this movie, like I said, the main thing I always just like to keep stating about it is uh, super how nostalgic it is to the 90s. But it really is such a fun time. I think there's so much humor in it. There is a lot that's still very gross. So it is still very sci-fi thriller horror, because there's some gross effects in there, particularly in the shower room scene uh, with the older. I can't remember if she was like one of the admins or something, but it was just this older naked woman in the showers with Stan, and then like her scalp ends up like sliding off. I was like, that scene always
yeah.
sticks with me. That is a
Yes,
super.
one of the teachers, Mrs. Furlong? No, that's anyway, one of the teachers, her body was a little too old and fragile to take the parasite, so it started falling apart on her.
Yeah, that scene always gets to me.
Oh, I also liked Famke Jensen. Well, she started off playing against type, but then she Famke'd it up all over the place once she got infected. But I was enjoying her glasses performance.
Yeah, I thought she did a great job. I think, again, super 90s, that they really had to throw in a very awkward high school student teacher love situation going on.
Potential,
like,
yes, some tension, some sexual tension.
At the end of the movie,
with the guy, he was.
He becomes a football player, and then she's like in the stands watching him doing that flirty wave, and I'm like, you're a teacher. Like, but it is.
He was
very
held
90s.
back a year. He was held back
That
a
is
year,
true.
so he's probably 19, but still
That
not
is true.
appropriate.
That's funny.
Still a power imbalance there, teacher and student. So not okay.
Yeah.
Bad Famke. Well, this year we are using a scale of 1 to 5 flying saucers. So how many flying saucers are you going to rate The Faculty?
I mean, I think it's no surprise the way I'm raving about it. This is 5 flying saucers for me. I think this is a perfect movie.
Okay. I enjoyed it, but I think I'm only going to give it 4. So, and I certainly don't like it more than Scream, but that's perfectly fine. That's quite all right. So there you go, folks. 4 and 5 flying saucers. As I said, you can watch it on Paramount Plus or on Pluto, and we do recommend, if you haven't seen it, it's a good movie. We'll be back tomorrow with another one of these. Until the month is over, Mike, thanks again for joining me. Until then, I have been Precious D. My guest has been Mike. Remember to keep watching the skies. We won't see you, but you will hear us next time on Monster Movie Fun Time Go. You've been listening to Monster Movie Fun Time Go. If you enjoyed the show, please consider rating and reviewing us on your podcasting platform of choice. You can leave us a message and find links to all our things at mmftg.com.